Good evening. Welcome everybody to the Omid Yomi Shir. We are in the Deer Shu Omid Yomi. Morning we have our own Omid Yomi. The evening we do the Deer Shu. Baruch Hashem, where are you? Pezayin and Modalef at the very bottom of the page. Shield for the Ilu Neshama of my father, Menachem and Akiva, and for the Hatzlocha, Hatzala of the whole of Klal Yisrael. Shishi Lemai. So Toshma. Basically, we saw machloikes between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbanon. We saw machloikes whether Matan Torah was on the 6th or 7th of Sivan, right? According to Rabbi Yossi, there was a week-long period between Bnei Yisrael arriving at Har Sinai until the actual Matan Torah. Sunday was Rosh Chodesh, Aleph Nisan. Monday, Hashem proposed to them, be my nation. Tuesday, there was Hagbolah. Wednesday, there was Prisha. Thursday, Friday, getting ready. Friday night, whoever messed up can still be Toivel and they're okay. Right? And Shabbos morning is Shabbos morning is Matan Torah. And Chachamim believe everything was pushed one day later. In other words, they arrived on Rosh Chodesh, true, but Rosh Chodesh was Monday. That's all difference. Rosh Chodesh was Monday, so the same Mahalach was the same, just shorter. In other words, Monday, nothing happened. They still rested from the way. Tuesday was the proposal. Wednesday, Hagbolah, and Thursday, Prisha. That's all idea. Thursday, Prisha, you only need 2 days for Prisha, according to Chachamim. Thursday, Friday, right? And that's good enough. Like Abelazar ben Azariah, regarding the Tuma, 2 days already do the trick. That's enough for the Zera to stay in the woman's womb. And then Shabbos morning was Matan Torah. Okay. So now let's see how these things work out. Toshma. We're again going to challenge Chachamim. Toshma, Shishi, when it says that it was a 6th day, Shishi b'chodesh, Shishi b'Shabbos. It says that the same 6th day was the 6th day of the Chodesh, Vav Sivan, and also it was Friday. That's absolutely wrong according to Chachamim. They say that's what we say. Torah was given Vav Sivan on Shabbos. Kasher Rabbanon, that's not good for Rabbanon. Answers the Gemara time and again. Honami Rabbi Yossi. Chachamim are forced to say that there are lots of brises that follow Rabbi Yossi, and they don't believe that. They have every right to argue. They're both Tanoim. Shishi Lamai. But when the brisa says this was this Shishi regarding what? In other words, what happened 6 days before that? It doesn't say Friday. It says the 6th day. It was the 6th day since what? If I would tell you, today is the 4th day for the what? Since I stop eating carbohydrates. Since what? Tosh Shishi Lamai. What's the Shishi to what? Rava Lechanayoson. Rava says for the Chanaya, which means, as we know, 6 days since they camped, they came there the first day, which, if you follow let's Rabbi Yossi, which we do, so on Sunday, Rosh Chodesh, they had the Chanaya. Says Rove, they camped. Okay, very good. What's the Chiddush? Rav Acha bar Yaakov Omar lemasoon, which means Rav Acha bar Yaakov said on that same Sunday, right? Sunday Rosh Chodesh Sivan, they traveled from the previous place, from Refidim, and they camped in Sinai. Okay, what's the Chiddush? Now let's reflect on Rava. If Rava doesn't say that they traveled on Sunday and arrived on Sunday, they only arrived and camped on Sunday, meaning that they traveled on Shabbos. They traveled on Shabbos. That's what Rava is coming to say. They traveled on Shabbos, and that was okay because they didn't keep Shabbos yet. Is that so simple? Not simple at all. The Kamiflagi, they argue regarding the Shabbos de Moro. We all know that some of the mitzvahs already given in Moro. Besides the Sheva mitzvahs ben Noach, as the Gemara Sanhedrin involved, also there were 3 other mitzvahs. But we don't yet know what these mitzvahs are. We know they were Mekayim Kibud Avaim, they were Nitztave. Now we're going to see there's a Machloikes whether, how much were the Nitztave regarding Shabbos in Moro. Let me just explain the introduction. We know it says Mufurish in the Torah. It says outright in the Torah. It's not even a drosha. About Moro, Sham Samloi Choyku Mishpat. Sham Samloi, there Hashem gave them Choyku Mishpat. That's in Moro. That's before Matan Torah. That's after Kriyas Yamsuf, right? It's the end of Beshalach. So there were some kind of mitzvahs when in Moro. What are they? Let's leave the other mitzvahs alone because it's not relevant. Let's talk about Shabbos now. Look, what does it say? The Kamiflagi b'Shabbos demoro. Mechlokes Rabba and Ravacha Bar Yaakov is regarding how much of Shabbos were they commanded in Moro. Dichtiv. It says in the Luchos Sabris, in the Ser Sadibris, Kasher Tzivcha Hashem Elokecho, which means in the second Luchos, Hashem, Moshe is quoting, Hashem is saying, Kasher Tzivcha Hashem Elokecho, meaning that in Ser Sadibris it says, you have to keep Shabbos as you were previously commanded. The Ritva explains this is not the second Dibur saying what was said in the first one. That's not the second Dibros. Second Dibros are telling you what was said in the first Dibros. And in the first Dibros, Hashem told them, this is Shabbos, Kasher Tzivcho. I'm telling you now the Shabbos which I already commanded you before. Just a reminder and more elaborate, maybe. But Be'etzem in a Ser Dibros, so now let's put two together. We know we have a variable here. There was Sam Sham Lo Choku Mishpat. What's his Choku Mishpat in Moro? Now we know. In Ser Sadibros it says Shabbos. Yeah, Shabbos Kasher Tzivcho. So we know that Shabbos is one of the mitzvahs that were mitzvah in Moro. Okay, and everyone agrees to that. So what's the machlokes about traveling on Shabbos? How could they travel on Shabbos according to Rabbah? V'omar V'yuda Marav Kasher Tzivcha b'Moro. As we said, Hashem commanded you in Moro to keep Shabbos. However, Mar Sovar, a Shabbos ifkud, a Tchumin lo ifkud. Rabbi holds that they were mitzvah to keep Shabbos, all the details of Shabbos, at least the Doraisa ones, but Tchumin, they were not nifkud. In other words, what's the problem with travel? More than one problem. Let's now focus on the main problem. Yeah, what's the problem of traveling far? How can they travel so far from Rafidim to Har Sinai on Shabbos? It's Tchumin, more than 2,000 ames. How can they travel that far? Well, guess what? On Tchumin, they were not nifkad. In other words, Tchumin is something that they were not yet commanded. And that's why they could travel far on Shabbos, because Tchumin wasn't yet given to them. The Isur Tchumin, according to Rabbi Kiva, Tchumin is the Oraisa. According to others, Tchumin is the Rabbanon. Right? Some the Rabbanons, I just want to mention, although what I'm saying is not like Tosfos, but more like the Ritva now. Some the Rabbanans were already given in the time of the Torah, you know that, like Kriyas HaTorah. Kriyas HaTorah, it says Mufurash, Lo haya ma'im lishas shloshes yomim. Yeah, so Moshe Rabbeinu invented the Rabbanon of reading the Torah every third day, Monday, Thursday, Shabbos. It's written in the Torah. It's not a stira. It's in the Torah's period, but it was established by Moshe and he's based in as a Rabbanon. It's not a stira. That's what some Rishonim hold. So therefore, Tchumin, they were not yet nifkad, so they could travel far. They didn't drive cars. Okay, there are more questions. 1 second. Mal sova a Tchumin nami ifkud. The Shenkel of Achabar Yaakov said no, they could not travel in Shabbos because just like Hashem told them the 39 of Malacha, He also told them about Tchumin, or maybe Moshe with the Rabbanon, Hashem with the Oraisa, but therefore they couldn't travel. The $1 million question is: last time I checked, you can't just travel alone. Where's your suitcase, your pekalach, the zoitzah? And what did we learn in Daf Vov? No. That the rice that in the times of the Midbar, Rishus Harabim, their own Rishus Harabim was Rishus Harabim, not Carmelists. So therefore, the Tosfos answers something very interesting. Tosfos says that Tchumin doesn't mean Tchumin at all, because Tosfos says Tchumin is the Rabbanon, and we're not dealing with it here. It says Tosfos when we say Tchumin, we really mean Oitzah. Very interesting. So I saw now the quote the Ramban is saying Tchumin means Reshuyos. The idea of hanging different shoes, Tchum. Interesting, that's what Tosfos says. And therefore, interesting. So 38 obviously were mitzvah, but not the 39, even though it's the Oraisa. Very interesting. The Ritva says Tchumin means Tchumin. No, so what did they do with how did they schlep the stuff? Ritva says there were mitzvah in all 39, including Otzah. How did they schlep? So the Ritva says Geonish. They put it on their donkeys. There are a lot of donkeys there. And to put it on your donkey is a problem of Mechamer. Even though Mechamer is the Oraisa, but that's, I mean, it's not supposed to be the Oraisa Mamish, it's not one of the 39. Mechamer, right, is not one of the 39. So just like Tchumin is not mitzvah, so to Mechamer they're not mitzvah. It's very good. It's matim. In other words, the two mitzvahs that are either the Rabbanon or at least not one of the 39 malachos are what? Are Tchumin for the people, and Mechamer, using my animal to work for me and walk, the animal should schlep for me, that also is not one of the 39, and therefore that was those two things were not mitzvah for Matan Torah, and that's why they could travel. That's according to the Ritva. So maybe Shvitas Beima really Enochinami Bemtecho is only later in the Sel Sadibras. That could be. Yeah. I know it's confusing, but there was not in Mora. Now the Shvitas Beima is not Koris. It's not of the 39. It could be the Raisa, but not 39. It's not one of the Ovis Malacha. The Mitzvah and all Ovis Malacha. But Chumin and Nechamer, they're not. No, they're not. And therefore, that wasn't yet. That came later. Matan Torah and beyond. Toshma. Weiter. Okay. Toshma. Nisan. Sorry. Nisan. Shebo Yotzi Yisrael Mitzrayim. Sorry. Toshma. Okay. Nisan Shebo Yotzi Yisrael Mitzrayim. 1 second. Yeah. Nisan Shebo Yotzi Yisrael Mitzrayim. Barboso Shochtu Pischem. The Braisa is describing Yetzias Mitzrayim itinerary of the actual days of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Toshma. Nisan Shebo Yotzi Yisrael Mitzrayim. Nisan, in which Bnei Yisrael left Mitzrayim. But what happened then? Barboso Shochtu Pischem. On the 14th of Nisan, they shechted the korban. Yeah. On the 15th of Nisan, they left Mitzrayim. Vela'erev loku b'choirois. And at night, the b'choros of Mitzrayim, that's when they died. Frag the Gemara, la'erev sal kadaitach? You tell me the following night, after it says Mitzrayim? No. Ela mi ba'erev loku b'choirois. In other words, 15th by night, that's when they were like the b'choros, okay, Leil Tesvav, and that's when they left Mitzrayim. So far, I don't know what the Chiddush of the Bryce is. Now comes the big Chiddush. The Oisayom Chamisha b'Shabbos Hoya. Boom. Ever wondered what day of the week was it says Mitzrayim? Thursday. I don't know if the women were so happy have to get ready for Shabbos. There was no Shabbos yet. Thursday, they left Mitzrayim. Beautiful. Now let's make the Cheshbon. Mi the Chamisa b'Nisan is Chamisha b'Shabbos, right? So let's now make the Cheshbon of Nisan, Iyar, and Sivan. Basically, what we're trying to figure out now is when was Rosh Chodesh Sivan? Because that's the argument between Rabbi Yossi and Chachomim. Samid Chamisa b'Nisan, Chamisha b'Shabbos. If Nisan, the Rosh Chodesh, the 15th of Nisan is on Thursday. Now Nisan is always a Chodesh Mole of 30 days. And therefore, Reishach the Iyar Shabsa. If you calculate the days, we have to trust the Gemara on this. I made a chart once, but not today. So Rosh Chodesh Iyar is on Shabbos. Okay. Now, Iyar is always missing. Iyar is always a Chodesh Choser 29. Reishach the Sivan Chad b'Shabbos. If Rosh Chodesh Iyar is on Shabbos, and it's only 29 days, Rosh Chodesh Sivan is the first of Shabbos, is on Sunday. Oh, that's very good with Rabbi Yossi. The Kasher Rabbanon. In other words, we're calculating month by month from Yetzias Mitzrayim Thursday, Rosh Chodesh Iyar Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh Sivan Sunday. That's very good with Rabbi Yossi, but it's bad for Rabbanon. We just have to have a chart of all the days, but we trust the Gemara on that. Amil Rabbanon are not giving up so quickly. Iyar Deishata Aburi Abrua. Although normally Iyar is Choser, but it's not Torah Misinai. We know that Beis Din can and should play around with the month. We're going to discuss it later. Beis Din many times play around with the month to have Molech Choser, to have the year fitting the times, the seasons of the year. And that year, Chachamim, Moshe Rabbeinu, and Beis Dinoi, they already decided to make Iyar, what? Dafka to make Iyar, Mole. They decided, to Rabbanan Iyar Dishata, Abruya. And therefore, you have one more day. Iyar was 30 days, not 29. So let's push Rosh Chodesh Sivan, what we thought is Shabbos, to Sunday. Very good, it was on Sunday. Like what? It was, Monday. It's Monday. This is not on Sunday, it's on Monday. We push it one day forwards, not Sunday, but Monday. Toshma. Line starts with the word Iburi Abua, Toshma. Toshma. Here comes another Braisa. Let's remind ourselves, what did Rabbi Yossi say? Rosh Chodesh Sivan of that year of Yetzias Mitzrayim, Rosh Chodesh Sivan was Sunday. Chachamim say Rosh Chodesh Sivan was Monday. Toshma, let's listen to another Braisa. The Loi Ibru Nisan. This Braisa is going to kill what we just said. You Chachamim said that year, Loi Ibru, Loi Ibru. That year they did not make ER longer. You just told me they did. I'll prove to you from a Braisa that they didn't. The ER that year was a normal ER a short month of 29. Let's see the Braisa. Nisan shebo yotzu Yisrael mimitzrayim. Yesh chayt ken yotzu. Yeah. Nisan shebo yotzu Yisrael mimitzrayim. The Nisan in which Bnei Israel left Mitzrayim on that year. Barboso shochtu Pischem. On the 14th, Erev Pesach, that's when he shechted the Korban Pesach. B'chamisha asar yotzu. On the 15th, they left. Very good. When? 15th, we know, by day, Be'etzem hayom hazeh, u'la'erev loku b'choros. And night, we think the following night, that's when the B'choros died. La'erev salke daitach, you think they died the following night? Ma pitom. El'ema mi ba'erev laku b'choros. In other words, the B'choros died at night. Maybe the idea of the Bryce is to show that even though B'choros died already at night, and Paro pushed them to go, they said, no, now we're staying till the morning. Now we decide, yeah? I saw something very interesting today in the Medrash, by the way, to lighten up a little bit. The Medrash I saw today, I'm working on a work now on Midrashim, that's what I do now in the afternoon. So basically, the B'choros, they rebelled against Paroi. At that fateful night, they rebelled against Paroi. And he killed them. Him and his soldiers, they had a civil war. The B'choros against Paroi. So besides the Makas B'choros, a lot of B'choros died because Paro and his police, they killed the B'choros. Because they wanted him already to send Bnei Yisrael away. They rebelled. They had the B'choros party. We want them out. And he wanted them in. So, Makem Mitzrayim b'B'choreihem. Mitzrayim killed their own B'choros. Anyway, back to us and the calculations. The day of Yitzias Mitzrayim, again, that unequivocal. Everyone says Thursday was Yitzias Mitzrayim. Okay, so now it says Gemara Mefurish. Hishlim Nisan. Now Nisan was a full month, as it always is. The Iyar started, Rosh Chodesh Iyar started the B'Shabbos. Very good. Rosh Chodesh Iyar therefore is on Shabbos, because we have a full month, so therefore between Tesvav and Rosh Chodesh Iyar comes out Rosh Chodesh Iyar is on Shabbos. Good. Choser Iyar, not like we said before. Iyar was Choser as it always is, and therefore Be'ira Sivan Yaspecha the Shabbos, and Sivan is on the first on Shabbos. So what do you see? You see that Sivan started on the first of Shabbos. Rosh Chodesh Sivan was Rosh Chodesh, was the first of the week. Sunday, Kashel Rabbanon. So that's not good with Rabbanon. Answers Rabbanon. The regular answer, Homani Rabbi Yossi. That's Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi has lots of brises that are with him and Chinami, but we still have the right to disagree with him. It's Rabbi Yossi. Omar of Pope. Toshma. Now we're going to calculate the cheshbon from the man. From the time that they started having the man falling, and Baruch Hashem, they had the man. When did the man start falling? Oops, I'm sorry. Rega. Yeah. Okay. Omar Pope. Toshma. Says the Braisa. Vayisum Eilim. They left Eilim. Vayavo kol adas b'nei Yisrael. Bnei Yisrael came to a new place. The place where the man started falling. But according to the narrative of the Gemara, first they started complaining. That's what it says in the Torah. They complained they don't have food. Continues the pasuk. Good. When was it that the man started falling? Pesach Sheni, the 15th of Iyar of the second month. That's when they started complaining and they started having the man. However, according to the Gemara's narrative, which is not so poshut from the Chumash, says the Braisa, that day, that not that they received the man, the day that they started complaining about not having food was Shabbos. Okay, how do we know that? The Chtiv, it says in the pasuk, Uboiker, Moshe Rabbeinu is promising them, Uboiker ureisem es kvoid Hashem. In the next morning, you will see the glory of Hashem when the man will fall tomorrow. Not today, because today is Shabbos. There's a problem here which we'll deal with later, but let's just read and translate. Re'isem es kvoid Hashem means tomorrow morning, all will be well. Stop skvetching about not eating, one day of a diet is okay. Tomorrow, you'll see the glory of Hashem as is going to give you the man. Okay. Tomorrow, how do you know tomorrow is Sunday? Look what it says. Uksiv, it says, Sheshes yomim tilketuhu. Since Moshe is telling them, for 6 days he will collect it, and on Shabbos he will not collect it. What do we know from here? We see from here that 6 days, right? The 6 following days, you will now start collecting for 6 consecutive days. Tomorrow is the big bang, the big boom, the big Hashem's glory with all the beautiful, white, fluffy, amazing stuff coming. You never tasted like that anyway. Better than Osem and Bamba, yeah? And what's going to start now? 6 days in a row. Oh, which day of the week can he be? So which day of the week is he in? When? Shabbos, obviously. Now Tosfos says a problem here. Tosfos says the question, if you read the Torah, he gave them that whole shmuz on Friday, not on Shabbos. Yeah, they were complaining. He told them tomorrow don't collect, and you only have it 6 days. Says Tosfos, Moshe Rabbeinu, there was a time against him. It says in other places he should have told them about Shabbos before. He waited with it. But this is really what Hashem told him to say at the original Shabbos. Even if it's not what Moshe said, that was supposed to be saying. That text was given for him to be said on Shabbos, and he postponed it until Friday. But the etzem, this was supposed to be said on Shabbos. We go what's supposed to be, not what really was the reality. Yeah, look at Tosfos. Lamaisa, one thing we know: that first day when the man was about to start to fall tomorrow was Shabbos. Okay, that was 15th of Iyar. Now let's make the calculation. Excuse me 1 second. If the 15th of Iyar is Shabbos, Reish Yarchad is Sivan, Chad b'Shabbos, right? If Iyar is always Choser, that's actually easy to understand. Even I hopped it quickly. If the 15th of Iyar is Shabbos, right? Then you have how many more days? You have only 14 days. And the 15th day is Shabbos, right? Yeah. You have now the Shabbos is 1 day after, right? Shabbos, it's Sunday. Yeah. Rosh Chodesh Sivan is on Sunday. If 15th of Iyar, and Iyar has only 29 days, right? The 15th of Iyar is on Shabbos, then you have 2 full weeks later. Yeah. You have in other words, Rosh Chodesh Sivan will be on Sunday. Kasha Rabbanon, that's not good with Rabbanon, right? Yeah, the Shver Rabbanon. Because they say it was on Monday, not Sunday. Amri lecho Rabbanon would tell you, no. Ear of that year, Iburi Abruha. Ear of that year, they, as we said before, based in of Moshe Rabbeinu, they decided ear of that year should be 1 day longer. Yes, however, the Kol HaKodmim, we said there's a brisa, they didn't accept it. Rabbanan still do hold that way. There's a mefurish brisa we saw when you came that it was not me'ubar. But Chachamim argue that. You understand? Although we refuted the answer, there was only lefi the other brisa, which is Rabbi Yossi. Yes, according to Chachamim, that here they stand by what they said. They still argue. What do you mean the brisa? We also tanoim. Why is the brisa better than us? We still hold that day, that year, Iyar was 1 day longer, uncharacteristically, and therefore everything was pushed 1 day later. And instead of Rosh Chodesh Sivan Sunday, Rosh Chodesh Sivan is not Sunday but Monday. Good, yeah. Amar le Rav Chavivi, or some say Rav Asi Michozno le Rav Ashi. This is a very beautiful and central brisa, which is quoted always in Rashi. Rashi always quotes the first few words, and here you're going to see the whole Rashi in the Chumash. Yeah, here you're going to see the whole shebang, the whole thing together. It says, "V'yi b'chodesh harishon b'shon hasheni mazel tov," with a beautiful, important, pivotal day in Jewish history. B'chodesh harishon, the first month. B'shon hasheni is the second year of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Be'echad l'chodesh, the first of the month, meaning Rosh Chodesh Nisan. What happened then? Hukam Mishkan mazel tov, after a lot of anticipation, preparation. What happened now? The Mishkan is finally built. Rosh Chodesh Nisan, very nice. Tana. And what does it say in the Brisa about that day being a first? It was a first of many, many, many things. That day, Rosh Chodesh Nisan of that second year, when the Mishkan started, he took 10 crowns, meaning there are 10 firsts. It was the first of 10 different things. Number 1, Rishon L'maaseh Bereshis, meaning Sunday. It was a Sunday. We have to remember that because that's what we care about. We see that Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the second year of Yetzias Mitzrayim was Sunday, the first day of the week. when the world was created, started being the beginning of creation. Rishon leNisim. What was the big event in the 12 first days of the Mishkan? We all know the very long parsha reading, right? Of Nosoi, Rishon leNisim. Who was the first Nasi that brought the Korban? Nachshon ben Aminadov. He was the first one of 12. Yeah, there were 12 fancy Korbanos, Sekas, Kesef Achash, Shloshim Yemam Mishkalo. We all know it by heart. And the first one was Nachshon ben Aminadov. That's the first. And what else? Rishon lekehuna. It was the first day in history where Kohanim were officiating. Up until then, who were the Oivdim in Beis HaMikdash or potential Mishkan? The B'choros. And for 7 days, Moshe Rabbeinu. The first time in which Kohanim started actually working was then, when Aaron and his children, they got into the, sadly, 2 of them died, Seder, but that's when they started. Rishon la'avoido. What is Rishon la'avoido? What does it mean? The first day that people brought korbanos. That's not true, because Adam Rishon also brought korbanos, and even him, Cain and Hevel, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Says Rashi, Rishon la'avoido means organized avoido. When there was an organized avoido of Tomid Shel Zachar, Tomid Ben Arbaim, a Mesuder Dika avoido, that every day you have to do the same in a public, official, formal way, not because somebody wants to. That was the first time. The Miluim was only rehearsals. There was a real avoido, was the Rishon la'avoido. Yeah, Moshe was just teaching them before. Rishon l'ridas ha'esh. Wow, it's the first day that the fire came down from Shemaim to eat the korban. Unfortunately, it ate Nadav and Avi on the way. But okay, Rishon l'ridas ha'esh. Rishon l'Achilas Kodshim. What does it mean? It's the first time that you eat kochim in mechitza. Of course, people ate korbanos before, but before that, people were allowed to eat korbanos wherever they felt like, in a bama. There's no limitation. Now you're only allowed to eat the kochim inside the Mishkan, and kochim kalim in Machne Israel, right? It's limited. You can eat your kochim as a Kohen or even as Israel. Yeah. Rishon lishkon shchina. It's the first day that the shchina rested on Klal Israel. There was no Hashras shchina before. On the Jewish nation, potentially there was, but they messed it up with Egel. You know that the Meforshim say in the Chumash that if not for the Egel, the Sforno, I think, goes into length, or somebody is so less. I think the Sforno, that if they, or Ibn Ezra, Sforno, one of those, or both, they say that if not for Egel Azov, we didn't have to have the Mishkan. The only reason we have to have a Mishkan so limited to one place is because of Egel Azov. They were missing the Shorot Shechina that they could have gotten, but a real Shorot Shechina was only when the Mishkan came. Okay? Now, Rishon Levorachas Israel, it was the first day of Birkas Kohanim. Amazing thing. Birkas Kohanim, Achila, yeah, Rishon Levorachas Israel. Rav Steinman once asked Rav David Cohen, there's a lot of people, Rav Steinman, to say the least. Yeah, I was there once, like, until you make your way in. And Rav David Cohen, Rosh Hashiva of Hebron, so Rav Steinman told him, with all honesty, it was obviously a very mystic person, like, why are they all coming to me for bracha? Like, there's Birkas Kohanim. I really don't happy. There's the Doraisa. People don't realize Birkas Kohanim is very, very, very potent. Very, very strong thing. Birkas Kohanim. It's a reason to make Aliyah. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. So Birkas Kohanim first time. David Cohen, you can give the brocha. Yeah. So the Birkas Kohanim first day was then right. It says Vayeret Vayvorech Aaron Cohen. He blessed Bnei Israel. Rishon Isor Abomois. Don't get confused. Beforehand, we spoke about eating. Now we're talking about the actual korban. Beforehand, you were allowed to be makriv korban wherever you want. And now there's an issue. Vel Pesach oil moed lo avioi. Beforehand, there was no Pesach oil moed. What do you want from people? Now there's an oil moed. The Shem says, you have oil moed. You have to do it only in oil moed, not outside. We don't want everybody to do whatever they want with no control. Rishon lechodoshim. Yeah, last but not least, it's the first month. It's the first day of the week, and it's the first month. Now, very nice, very beautiful. What do we care about? Of course. Let's focus only on that fact. Rosh Chodesh Nisan of that year was on Sunday, the first day of the week. Therefore, now, what are we talking about here? That's the second year. Very good. The second year of Yetzias Mitzrayim was what? Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on Sunday. Now, we are trying to figure out time and again and again and again and again what the calendar of the first year of Yetzias Mitzrayim, because that's when Matan Torah was. Oh, Stop the Gemara. I'm on purpose repeating what I just read. If Rosh Chodesh Nisan of that year, the second year was on Sunday, the Shtakat B'Daled B'Shabbos. Therefore, must be that the year before, meaning our year, the first year of Yetzias Mitzrayim, must be Rosh Chodesh was on Sunday, it was Wednesday. Must be Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on Wednesday. Why is that? Netanya says in the Braisa, Acherim Oimrim, it's Machloikes in Erchin, it's mentioned in a few places, Ein ben Atzeres la'Atzeres, Ben ben Rosh Hashanah Rosh Hashanah, Ben ben Pesach lePesach, then you have to add that, Ela Daled Yomim Bilvad, only 4 days. Let me explain. Yeah, we're getting into the very complicated issue here of the Hebrew calendar. Yeah, so let's see. Basically, it's like this. We know that we follow the lunar calendar, but not completely. The lunar calendar, the one of the moon, basically the moon orbits around the Earth. For how long? Every month, 29 and a half days, and 2/3 of an hour plus. Yeah, you have 29 days, full days of 24 hours days, plus 12 hours, that's half a day, plus 2/3. Now, let's just round it up now for 12 and a half each. What is 12? No, 29 and a half, right? Now, you can't start Rosh Chodesh in the middle of a day, 29 and a half. And the verse is what brings the source. So what do? Ideally, you round it up either way. You have, 6 months that are choser. There are 29 only. You took away half. And 6 months of mole of 30. And that's what Acherim hold. Be nice and symmetric and yekish, right? And really, you should have 6 months of the year should be choser. Yeah, they're all 12 and a half. We want, the calendar. Let me just explain. We don't want to be like the Arabs, right? In many ways. One way is when is the Ramadan? Winter, summer. When you only go by the lunar year, then you're completely ignoring the seasons of the sun. We want to follow the moon, but also have a seder that follows the sun also. So we want Pesach always to be on Pesach and Sukkot to be on Sukkot, because it says you're supposed to celebrate Pesach in the Aviv, the Chule, also Sukkot, and therefore we want to make sure that this accumulation doesn't disturb us. We can't just allow because it accumulates. Those 2/3 of an hour plus another 2/3 for another 2/3. That's why, according to some opinions, you have to play around and sometimes make longer month, more than 6 months longer, even 7 or 8, in order to have it to play around with the short and long months in such a way that the lunar and the solar will be matim to each other. Now, okay. Let's continue. Why did we just say now that there's a difference of 4 days, of the week between one year and the other? Why did we say now that if Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on Sunday in the second year, it must have been Wednesday the previous year? Says the Gemara, you know why? Because when you compare the days of the months to the days of the week to weeks, in a year of 354 days, 354 days is the perfect lunar year. It's exactly 6 choser, 6 smaller. We didn't play with it, making it shorter or longer. It's a nice 354. But in 354 days, you have 50 weeks and 4 days. You have 50, not 52 weeks like you think. No, 50 days, 50 weeks and 4 days. Those 4 days is a difference. In other words, if Rosh Chodesh Nisan is in Sunday, the second year, you know that the previous year, it was on Wednesday. 4 days difference. And that's not going to be nice. If it was an Iber Yor, if it was a Shana Mu'beret, then it was Chamisha. If it was a Shana Mu'beres, then it was The difference is 5. Why? Shana Muberes says Rashi, this man the Omer holds, Shana Muberes is really, as we know, an extra month. That extra month is also choser. Because it's choser, somehow it makes 5 instead of 4. I'm not sure why. But Shana Muberes is 5. It's not even so relevant for us. Okay? But kids, so all we have to know is there should be four days difference. So if in the second year was Sunday, the previous year, Rosh Chodesh Nisan was Wednesday. Therefore, Nisan has 30 full days. Started when? Started on Wednesday. Therefore, Rosh Chodesh Iyar, Mali Shabsa is Friday. Rosh Chodesh Iyar must be Friday. By that, you just have to believe the Gemara. You can make a chart. Last time I taught it, I made a chart. Yeah, it's Friday. Now, Iyar is Choser. Rishach Hadesiv Shabsa. Now comes out, since Rosh Chodesh Iyar is a Choser, 29 days, right? So if Rosh Chodesh Iyar is Friday, Rosh Chodesh Sivan it's Shabbos. Oi. Rosh Chodesh Sivan on Shabbos? Oh. Kasha ben Rabbi Yossi ben Rabbanon. That's bad for everybody. It's not good. Because why? What did Rabbi Yossi say? When was Rosh Chodesh Sivan? Sunday. And Chachami Monday. Now we're saying Shabbos. Answers the Gemara, no. Rabbi Yossi, Shiva Chaser in Ovud. I gave you the introduction to that before. Says Rabbi Yossi, I don't believe in this Yekish head in the wall. Chas Shalom, not me saying. There are such Tanoim. Rabbi Yossi says, I don't think it always has to be 6 month Mola, 6 month Choser. No, Adrab. Sometimes you have to play around with the months, yeah, in order to make it matim, the sun and the moon, right? Therefore, they would make 7 months Chaserim. 7 months choser, you have therefore 1 day less of a difference. You have 1 more month choser. So that year is shorter. That year is shorter than what you imagine. It's not 354, it's 353. And therefore the gap is smaller from year to year. And therefore, what do you have? You have only 3 days. Great. Therefore, what? That was on, the one before was on, the Rosh Chodesh of Nisan was on Sunday. The one before was Thursday, meaning Nisan of Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the first year was on Thursday, right? 1 day before, right? Excuse me, 1 day later. Not Wednesday like we thought in the question, but Thursday. You push 1 day forwards. Very good. You do Nisan, Iyar, Sivan. What did you tell me before, mister, in your question? That really Rosh Chodesh Sivan was on Shabbos? No, it was on Sunday. Yeah, because the gap is shorter. Because that year has Shiva Chaserim, the first year. Therefore, yeah, or the year between the first and between the 2 Nisans. And therefore, the gap is smaller. Again, let's repeat. Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on Sunday on the second year. That's not disputable. That's the first Rosh Chodesh Nisan Sunday. But the difference between year to year was not 4 days. It was only 3 days because of the Choser year. Choser means 1 less. Even I know that, yeah? And therefore what? You have 3. Great. So really Rosh Chodesh Nisan was not, of this first year, was not Wednesday, was Thursday. And you follow Iyar and Sivan. It wasn't Shabbos. We pushed it all 1 day. It's Sunday. That's obviously with the shade of Sunday. And Rabbanon said Monday. Rabbanon Shmoyne Chaserim Avud. Very nice. Rabbanon said the same thing. No, there were 8 months missing. By the way, you're not allowed to make more than 8 months missing. Yeah, you can't play around more with 8 one direction and 4 the other direction. Either way, yeah, there's a limit, right? So they say there were 8 choser months. There were 8 months of 29 and not 30. So the gap is even smaller. Only 2 days difference. And therefore, Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the second year was Sunday. Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the first year was Friday. You push 2 days, not Wednesday, it's Thursday, Friday. So also Rosh Chodesh Sivan is pushed from what you thought before Shabbos? No, it was not Sunday, Monday. Now we actually know where they came up with it. And they believe really that it was Monday when Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Rosh Chodesh Sivan was on Monday according to Chachamim. By the way, of course we know that what I told you now is only half the truth. Meaning, obviously, that we still are left with a lot of gap between a solar and lunar year. Why? What's a solar year? We all grew up on this nonsense of, it's true, but it's not the way we should follow, 365 days. Well, no. That's solar. The lunar is 354. That's 11 days difference. After 2 years or so, 3 years, depends, 2 and something years, you accumulate, yeah, three together. Yeah, you have a whole month, yeah, of difference between the lunar and the solar. Hence, we have a Shana Muberes. Shana Muberes is again to make sure the lunar and the solar are in tandem with each other. I have to run now. Atzlocha bracha. Thank you to people on tour anytime. Tomorrow is much easier. Almost that was like a tough one. Tomorrow is all nice, beautiful. I got it, most of it. Atzlocha bracha. Thank you to everybody on tour anytime. YouTube people, yeah, keep them coming. Atzlocha. Thank you to all of you here.